Jai Hind students, myself Praveen Kumar, assistant professor in AKGEC Ghaziabad, and today we are going to discuss the subject basics signals and system, and today's topic of discussion is Z transform and ROC. Basically ROC stand for region of convergence. So what is this? What are the properties of this? We will discuss the same in the coming slides. So as far as the contents of the today's video lectures are concerned, so firstly we will see the introduction about the Z transform, then introduction about the Z transform, then what are poles and zeros and what are the significance of poles and zeros in Z transform in terms of causality and stability, you can say, and then at last we will discuss about the region of convergence, that is ROC, you can say ROC in short, region of convergence. So let us just start the discussion for today's lectures. So firstly the question arises, why Z transform? So as it clear from the name itself, transform, that means we are applying some mathematical manipulations, mathematical calculations to make the original calculation little bit simpler or easy, you can say. So basically here Z transform is used for the discrete signal. This is used for the discrete signal, discrete signals. So for discrete signal we will use the Z transform. So this is basically the counterpart of the Fourier transform. So now the question arises, if we have Fourier transform already present, then why we go for the Z transform? The answer is very simple. Fourier transform is basically two type, that is continuous time Fourier transform and another CTFT, you can say, and second one is DTFT, discrete time Fourier transform. But these, as you see, discrete time Fourier transform, so this is basically have the following problems, or you can say difficulties. First one is Fourier transform does not converge on all sequences. So this problem is addressed by Z transform in a well defined manner. Then the notion good for analysis and bring the power of complex variable theory, deal with the discrete time signals and system, and if we do the same with the help of Z transform, then you can say it converges for all values. So firstly, if we discuss about the definitions, the Z transform of a sequence, that is Xn, is defined by this formula. So this is very important. Here Xz is Z transform of Xn. So you can say, if you write down the Z transform pair, then you can write down Xn Xz. Okay. So if you go from here to here, this is Z transform, which we are discussing in our current lecture, and if you do the reverse, that is inverse Z transform, inverse Z transform. So for any discrete signal or sequence Xn, the Z transform Xz is given by this formula. Xz is equal to summation n minus infinite to plus infinite Xn Z raised to power minus n. Okay. So if we compare it with the Fourier transform, then for the same, the Fourier transform is given by this formula. X e raised to power j omega is equal to summation n minus infinite to plus infinite xn e raised to power minus j omega n. So from this you can say that we can easily convert Z transform into Fourier transform and vice versa by following this relationship. Z is equal to e raised to power j omega, and today's topic of discussion is about Z transform. So we will only discuss about this part, Z transform. In some other lecture we will address the Fourier transform, or you can say discrete time Fourier transform or continuous time Fourier transform also. So this is Fourier transform. So basically Z transform is defined the Z plane. So what is the generalized shape of Z transform? This is the formula of Z transform. Okay, students. So now the question arises, the generalized Z plane. So that will be like this one. Okay. So this is a real part. This is imaginary part. Along x-axis you can say real part is there. Along y-axis we have imaginary part, and this is a circle, and this is angular angle omega. Here Z is equal to e raised to power minus j omega. So and this is Fourier transform. Okay. So Fourier transform is to evaluate Z transform on a unit circle. You can say here Fourier transform is basically used to evaluate Z transform on a unit circle. So this is the another relationship. So this is Z plane, real part of Z if it is Z transform, and here we have imaginary part of Z here, and in this Z plane we can easily define poles and zeros, which we will see in the coming slides. Poles are generally represented by small cross and zeros are represented by circles. So this is symbol for poles and this is the symbol for zeros. Okay. So they are basically poles and zero concept. In case of Z transform or Z plane is basically to define whether the system is causal and or stable or not. So this is Z plane. So this is another part, imaginary part, real part. Okay. So the next point before we go into details of Z transform is the ROC. So ROC stand for region of convergence. So basically it is basically a area, you can say. So basically we have, suppose we have any discrete signal or a sequence. So ROC basically the set of values of Z for which the Z transform converge or becomes finite, not approaches to infinite, that is xz magnitude is less than 0 is called region of convergence. So you can say Z transform basically defined in the area of ROC region only. So this is very important, how the Z transform calculations or manipulations are changed when we change the ROC. So we will see it in the coming slides. We will elaborate this with the help of some basic questions in today's lecture itself. So you can say xz magnitude is equal to summation n minus infinite to plus infinite xn z raised to power minus n magnitude. So if you calculate this one, so this magnitude, overall magnitude summation n minus infinite to plus infinite xn magnitude z magnitude raised to power n should be less than infinite. So basically you can say ROC or region of convergence is basically centered on the origin and basically consists of a set of rings, and the widths of rings is basically depend on the types of signals, whether a signal is causal, anti-causal, just like this one. So this is a very basic example of ROC, region of convergence, ROC example. So basically you can see here, so if you have xz magnitude, so that is defined by this formula. So ROC is basically a annual ring centered on the origin. So you can say this is the real part, this is imaginary part. So ROC basically here real part, and ROC is basically defined between the areas. So if we have two, so you have a radius R signal, so the ROC may be this region, or my ROC may be inside this circle or maybe outside the smallest circle or the largest radius circle. So different cases are there. So how that is defined, we will see it in the coming numerical. So what are the advantage, or you can say significance of ROC? We can define stable system with the help of ROC, or you can say static system. Stable system are also known as static system. Static system. Okay. So that is static system. So stable systems are also known as static system. So basically a stable system basically require that its Fourier transform is uniformly convergent over a defined area. So you can say Fourier transform is to evaluate Z transform on a unit circle. So if you conclude, then you can say Fourier transform is basically to evaluate, basically to find out the Z transform on a unit circle, a radius or area. So you can say, this is the definitions. A stable system require the ROC of Z transform to include the unit circle. So if you say any system is stable or unstable in term of ROC of Z transform, region of convergence of Z transform, then that basically require that the Z transform ROC must include the unit circle inside it. If it is not so, the system is unstable or dynamic, you can see. System is not stable. We will see it in the coming numericals. So you can say ROC must include unit circle inside it, otherwise the system is unstable. Okay. So you can say just like this. Here this is red part is unit circle area and this is ROC. If so, its ROC must include unit circle inside it, otherwise the system is unstable or dynamic. So let's take an example. So suppose we have a right side sequence xn is equal to an un, where un is the unit step sequence or discrete signals. So this is defined by this formula. Xn is equal to, at 0 it have some values, for -1 to infinite all these values are zeros. Okay. And from 0 to infinite we have some finite values as the n value increases. So you can say the here a may be less than 1. So this is the case. If it is greater than 1a, then it may be increasing type. Okay. So if you solve it out, then if you solve it out, then you can say xz is equal to xn into zn. So xn was this one. So if you solve it out, then you will see un value will be 0 from 0 to infinite, as you will see. So this limit change from minus infinite to 0 to infinite. So if you solve it out, this will comes out to be xz is equal to summation n 0 to infinite a z raised to power minus 1 over all raised to power n. So if you solve it out, so for convergence of xz, we require that this term magnitude must be less than infinite. So for that, the magnitude of az inverse must be less than 1. Okay. So here if you solve it out, then you can say z magnitude must be greater than a, and xz is given by n0 to infinite a z raised to power minus 1 raised to power n. So if you find out the z transform, that comes out to be 1 over 1 minus a z inverse, or z over z minus a. Here the z magnitude must be greater than a magnitude. So this is the ROCs, means area outside a circle having the radius a. So this is the ROC of the right side sequence. This is the ROC of the right side sequence. Okay, students. So let us discuss about the next point. So this is, if you solve it out, then you will get okay. So if this comes out to be inside the ROCs, and here it comes out inside the ROC, so which one is stable? Obviously this one is stable, because we are taking this is the ROC, so unit circle is in this. So this is unstable, this is not stable, this one is stable system. Okay, let us take one more example. Left side sequence. So for left side sequence, basically suppose xn is equal to minus a raised to power n u minus n minus 1. So this is the representation. Its value is minus 1 to minus infinite, some finite values, and from 1 to infinite, all these values are magnitude are 0. At this point the magnitude is 0. Okay. So if we solve it just like we do in the previous case, then we see here ROC comes inside the circle of radius a. So let us see how it is solved. So if we solve it, xz is equal to n is equal to 0 to minus, sorry, n is equal to minus infinite to infinite a n u minus n minus 1 into z raised to power minus n. So if we solve it out, so that comes out to be 1 minus summation n 0 to infinite a n raised to power minus n z raised to power n. And for convergence of xz, we require that the magnitude of this must be less than infinite. And if we solve it out, then this comes out to be z less than a. So this is the z transform, z over z minus a. So here you can say ROC for the left side sequence is a circle having radius a, and inside is the ROC, inside part. Okay. So this is the ROC. So the same is shown in the next slide. So this is the ROC inside the radius a circle. So this is ROC. Okay. So unit circle must be inside this ROC for the system to be stable. If it is outside, so obviously which one is stable in these two? So here unit circle is within the ROC. So this one is stable, this one is not, because unit circle is outside the ROC. The ROC region of convergence must consist the unit circle inside it. So this one is stable, this one is unstable. So if we represent that transform as a rational functions, then we have comes into pictures poles and zeros. So xz may be represented as pz upon qz. This is numerator polynomial, this is denominator polynomial. where pz and qz are polynomial in z domain. So the root of this pz are known as zeros and root of qz are known as poles. So zeros, the value of z such that xz is equal to 0 is known as zeros, and the value of z such that xz becomes infinite. So which one has the power to make the function infinite? Obviously denominator polynomial qz. So pz root are zeros and qz root are poles, and if we plot them in the z plane, then we can easily define the stability and causality of the system based on the pole zero plot in z transform domain. So this is example. So we have xn is equal to a raised to power n un. So if we solve it out as we do in the last case, so this comes out to be xz is equal to z over z minus a, and here ROC is z magnitude, ROC is this one, z magnitude must be greater than a magnitude. Okay, so ROC is bounded by the poles and it is the exterior of a circle. Okay, so here ROC is outside this a radius circle. So all the poles must be resemble with the ROC, otherwise the system become unstable. So for left side sequence, we have ROC inside. So the same case, ROC is bounded by the pole and is the interior of a circle. So here for left side sequence, the region of convergence is basically bounded by the pole and is the interior of a circles. Okay, so that means we can say the position of the pole in any z transform functions is very important for defining the stability of the system. So all the pole must be lie on the left hand side of z plane if we plot them on z plane. So we have one more example in which we have two right side sequence sum. So here suppose xn is equal to half raised to power n un plus minus 1 by 3 raised to power n un. So if we solve it out for z transform, then this comes out to be xz is equal to z over z minus half plus z over z plus 1 by 3. Okay, so that comes out to be, if you solve it out, this comes out to be 2z into z minus 1 by 12 multiplied and z minus 1 by 2 and another factor is z plus 1 by 3. So basically ROC is bounded by the poles and is basically the exterior of a circle. So ROC does not include any pole. Okay, so ROC does not include any pole. If any pole is there within the ROC, then system is not stable. The system become unstable. Okay. So this is another example. So if we solve it out, so if you solve it out, here xn is this one minus 1 by 3 raised to power n un minus half raised to power n u minus n minus 1. So this is a two-sided sequence. If you solve it out, xz comes out to be 2z into z minus 1 by 12 upon z plus 1 by 3 z minus 1 by 2. So here ROC is bounded by the poles and basically a ring in this case. So ROC does not include again any pole for this. So this is the example of two-sided sequence. So this is another example of finite sequence. Okay. So for same, the ROC must be from 0 to infinite and ROC does not include any pole and this is always stable. So this is another example. Okay, so here the same thing is repeated again. So let us discuss about the last point, that is the properties of ROC. So before concluding the today's lectures, let us discuss about the properties of ROCs. So a ring or disc in Z plane basically centered at the origin. Second property is the Fourier transform of discrete sequence xn is converge absolute if the ROC include the unit circle and ROC cannot include any pole. The finite duration sequence, the ROC is the entire Z plane except possible value of Z at 0 and at infinite. And for right side sequence, if you conclude, the ROC basically extend outward from the outermost finite pole in xz to z is equal to infinite. And for left side sequence, the ROC extend inward from the innermost non-zero pole in xz to z is equal to 0. So these are some of the properties of silent features of region of convergence. So that's all for today's lecture, students. Thank you.